Hello and thank you for joining me for some Mitsurugi Kamui Hikae. That is a bit of a mouthful. You're going to notice some frame rate drops in this episode a little bit. It's kind of noticeable here. The first episode was almost consistently 60 frames per second, but here it's sort of dips between 40 and 50, occasionally going down to 30. This is the second level, by the way. It's not a very long game. I heard it takes about an hour. I pre-recorded the footage, so I'm sort of... It's not live commentary. I'm not commentating as I'm playing. Fuck's sakes. I do really hate that enter key, by the way. Like okay, that little finishing move is located to shift, and I keep hitting enter sometimes, but no, this is me trying to sort of change the settings so I can get it, running at a higher frame rate. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. It's the level itself, and I actually had a bit of a problem where my escape key stopped working, so I don't know what happened. And that'll be a problem later on in the game. I couldn't back out of menus, so I do switch to a controller eventually. You're gonna see me take a lot more hits this time around. Ah, for fuck's sakes. Yeah, that little sticky keys thing pops up quite often because there'll be times where I'll release shift, I'll release the block button, but I shouldn't, so I press it again, and it's sort of, it's times when I think it's safe, but it really isn't, and I block by like just my blocking timing is like a millimeter off, like a millisecond off. Right? Millimeter is a measurement of distance, not it's like a measurement of length, not a measurement of speed, of time. I forgot that, speed is actually a measurement of time itself. Derp. But we're just beating up this cannon fodder. Pretty much this game's equivalent of the Putty Patrol from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, except they're not as fun or kooky. I really did like the Putty Patrol as villains. I used to be really big into stuff like Power Rangers, and eventually I did move on to Super Sentai, which I think is a much better series. Not to say Power Rangers was terrible, like it was, but it was like it's so terrible that it's good. Especially the first 3 seasons. I think they're so terrible they're good. Yeah, I just figured out like a major rule of this game is that there's a little meter underneath your health, and I had no idea what that was for before. It actually turns out that meter is your katana gauge, and that dictates how much you can use your sword. So in order to fill it up, you have to hit them with your bare hands. Now that's pretty much like farting in their general direction. I find what really works is using the katana and then doing that little move that you just saw there. Because it fills it back up, and there's no need to waste time punching them. Because that really is a waste of time. There is no need to ever punch. And it's weird, because I read a review for this game, because I had never heard of it before the other day. And I read that review, and something they praised the game for was its very deep combat system. I'm pretty much, oh, for fuck's sakes, I'm pretty much mashing the heavy attack button, sometimes pressing left shift. That's not much depth to it. I actually do want to say it's deeper than most than something like Devil May Cry, but it's actually not. Although Devil May Cry does have its fair share of useless mechanics, like the guns. Oh my god, guns in Devil May Cry are fucking useless. I am so glad that in DMC they actually gave them a purpose. By the way, yeah, it's weird. That's the only one aside from Devil May Cry 3 that I like. In that whole series is Devil May Cry, is DMC, the reboot, and Devil May Cry 3. Now I can acknowledge that the reboot has some major glaring issues. Namely the overusage of fuck in the dialogue. I don't like that in games. I'm supposed to take it serious. Like the whole plot is like, the whole game is trying to tell me that it's serious, that it's actual like literature, and then it's like, oh, who the fuck are you? Fuck you, fuck you. And that scene really, that just made me lose my shit. It was hilarious, and it was really, really bad. Another issue I do have with the game is Dante's design. So, unfortunately, I didn't pre-order or buy the DLC. I don't know if the DLC is even available on PSN, but yeah, I didn't buy it because there is a DLC that I think is a pre-order exclusive. I think. I'll look some other time. And you can actually make it so Dante is wearing his Devil May Cry 3 outfit. And I like that. I like his old design a lot better than his new one. His new one's like okay, black hair. And then they like literally just spit in the faces of all their fans with the whole mop falling on his head, and he's like, nah, it wouldn't work. And I thought it was really, really stupid and just really, really unprofessional of them as writers too. And then again, what was it? One of the guys behind that game, didn't he like bash like the original design, despite the fact that the original design was a lot, you know, more interesting. Yeah, you're gonna notice I have a bit of trouble with the big yellow guys. They are quite annoying. They take more hits than they should. God damn it. But they take way more hits than they should, and they don't really they don't really feel any knockback from your attacks. And I'm really not digging that. It's kind of, it gets really annoying. Especially later on, there's like 5 of them on screen at a time. For fuck's sakes. Yeah, that sticky keys thing, I think that's the last time it shows up. But yeah, it's a nuisance. Let's take care of all of them at once. Dodge around here, get some distance. God damn it. Just had to sort of fix something. Yeah, I really, really do hate sticky keys. I fucking hate where that shift key is too. I kind of wish it was like a little bit closer to the L key. Because that's essentially where, oh, geez, Christ. Wow. I don't usually yawn during a video, but wow, that was sudden. I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, it's kind of poorly placed. The frame rate's not even too much of an issue here, actually. I find the game's actually still playable at 30 frames a second. And that's saying a lot, because I don't really think it's too playable at, you know, at 60. Because it's not a very good game. It's not terrible. Like I only paid $10 for it, so it's pretty good. I've spent a lot worse. I've spent $10 on a lot worse. So looking at this. Playing this, yeah, it's not so bad. I mean, it's better than most Dynasty Warriors games. And that's not saying much, actually. Dynasty Warriors is, I think it's a terrible, terrible, terrible franchise. I don't play too many of them. I've never actually played any of them, any of the main games, except for like 6 and 7. And then I've mostly been confined to the anime spin-offs, like Gundam and Fist of the North Star and Pirate Warriors are the ones I've majorly played, and I really hated all the Gundam ones. The first 2, I don't think I played the third. I don't know if the third's gotten a North American release. And I really didn't like Pirate Warriors 1 and Ken's Rage. Ken's Rage 2 was good though. It's just, sadly, I didn't get to play it on a console prior to, you know, after the patch. I really do wish they would start releasing them on PC though, so I could actually buy them on a console I want. Not to say I don't want a Wii U, but I don't have the money for a console at the moment. I can at least save up for a game, because, you know, I can... It's hard saving up for consoles. It really truly is. But then again, most of my consoles are like impulse purchases anyways. Except my PS3, I didn't even want to buy that. My friend coaxed me, and my friend's brother coaxed me into buying that. And I didn't even fucking want it. Like there was literally like 3 games at the time that I want, fuck's sakes, that I wanted for it. 2 of them were UFC games, and the other one was EA Sports MMA. So yeah, I wasn't very big on the PS3. I'm still not very big on the PS3. I think those are the games that got the most playtime for me, was the UFC games. After playing the demo to EA Sports MMA, I didn't want the game. The fighters sort of they like skated across the ring, and it looked really stupid. I mean, look, I know a lot of people are split between the UFC games and the EA Sports MMA games, but I think the major difference is one is an arcade game, and I don't think of it as a sim, and the other one is an arcade game trying to be a simulator. Now that's my big issue, is the latter of the two is EA Sports MMA, that's the punchline. It's an arcade game trying to be a sim, but it's very arcadey, like all the time. There's nothing technical about it. Like even the striking is literally no-brainer. And I get that's what they were going for, because they wanted to be accessible, but I'm a fighting game fan first and an MMA fan second. So appease the fighting game fan in me. Don't try to, you're not gonna please the MMA fans. MMA fans, they don't care how the final game is. They just want an MMA simulation. I want a fighting game. So when it came down to it, and I just died here, this is where you're gonna notice I have a problem with my escape key. I purchased all these upgrades, and I can't exit the menu because my escape key fucks up, so I have to Alt F4 my way out of it, plug in my controller, and play like that. So I'm gonna have like a bit of a jump cut in a moment, and I'm probably just gonna edit out like a whole chunk, because I literally left it waiting for like 5 minutes. Actually, you know, I'm just gonna edit it out right now. Fuck it, yeah, just gone. Back in a moment. And we're back. I edited out a little portion where I died, and I bought some upgrades, so that is why my health bar is a little bigger. I really don't like these big yellow dudes. They take way more damage than they have any right to. I am now playing with a controller. It plays a lot better now. It's actually a little closer to actually being fun. Not to say that this is an absolutely atrocious game, but I never thought I'd say this. It ain't no Devil May Cry. I really wish it was. I have a lot against Hideki Kamiya's 3D games. Like, okay, I know a lot of people really like Okami, but at the time, I didn't play Okami until after I had beaten Twilight Princess. I almost said Skyward Sword. And at the time, I really thought it was like a big-ass Twilight Princess clone. I actually think Okami came first, but I still couldn't shake that whole Twilight Princess feel, because it's a Zelda game essentially, and you play as a wolf, and you go around, and it's essentially it's very Zelda-y. And I know Hideki Kamiya is a very big fan of Zelda. He likes a lot of Nintendo franchises, especially Zelda. And I felt that it was kind of samey, so it was really hard for me to enjoy. That being said, I really like Beautiful Joe. I think that is like one of the best gaming series of all time, and that used to drive my friend really nuts, because I was literally obsessed with Beautiful Joe and he couldn't stand the series at all. He's not much for 2D platformers. I really like 2D platformers, and I was at his house and I was actually like using his internet to watch the Beautiful Joe anime, and I don't know why. I guess at the time I liked it. I watched it a while back, and there'll be like sometimes some moments where it's kind of funny, like where Grand Bruce like bites his own bites an oxygen tank and he like flies off like a balloon. That's kind of funny. And then the rest of the show is really bad jokes, especially in the English dub, and the Japanese version is some really bad jokes with some really good referential humor. Like there's like an episode where it essentially just parodies Men in Black, and they have to wear these shades that allow them to see who's an alien and who's not. And even while they're transforming into like their superhero form costumes, they're like still wearing the glasses, so it looks really goofy, and it's just so over the top and stupid. Another episode that does come to mind is the superhero episode, where they're in like a superhero movie, and what happened is now there's no more crime in the entire movie, and because that's the whole thing with Beautiful Joe, is everything is like it is set in a world that's a parody of a movie, and in the whole world now there's no more supervillains, so the superheroes have nothing to do, and they're constantly fighting over who saves who. So it's kind of funny, and that's one of the few episodes that really stands out to me. I did prefer the games. I love the games, except Red Hot Rumble and the one on the DS. That was shit. I really think Capcom should bring the series back and give me my Beautiful Joe on my Beautiful Joe 3. And give it to me on the 3DS too, because then it works. Because you know you can have like Beautiful Joe 3 DS, and it works. See, ha ha ha! It's a joke because it's the third game and it's on the 3DS. Haha, it's funny. And I'd really love that. And not to mention, you wouldn't have to use any new assets whatsoever. You could just reuse the same old model and maybe add some 3D gimmick to it. Who gives a fuck? Just make it better than the other two, and it's all good. Add in a versus mode too, because I thought Red Hot Rumble was a really good idea, but then you guys made it like the gay bastard love child between Mario Party and Smash Brothers, and it wasn't so fun. It's kind of hard to have like a really fun, hectic battle when you're worrying about an objective. Like in Smash Brothers, that's why the WarioWare stage is my least favorite stage in the game, because you have to be fighting and you have to have like this frantic battle, but at the same time you have to follow orders that are given on screen, kind of like in WarioWare. It's like WarioWare and Smash Brothers are both really fun, just not together. Actually, that beam took a huge chunk of my health. Holy fuck. Yeah, let's just beat this motherfucker, and then we will start off We will end this here after I beat him. Let's see if I can beat him in a rather flashy way. No, I'll just cut him. Ooh, an achievement! Yay! I'm gonna get some upgrades. You guys can finally see me buy upgrades. Yay! Some more upgrades at least, because there isn't much to do. There isn't much to upgrade. It's a very bare bones game. I think I think Blue Zenith. I think that's how it's pronounced. I think that's the name of the company. If they do a sequel, I hope they make it bigger. I hope this really sells well because it's got a lot of heart. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see you guys next time. Bye bye for now.